It's good to be here today. Nice, warm, sunny day here in Salem, Oregon. Can't wait to hear Richard Gage tonight to make his presentation, inform us all about the intentional demolition of Building 7. It's pretty astonishing. Most people don't even know that third building fell that day.
Hi, I'm Tom Hermack. I'm the founder of the 9/11 Studies Club at Portland Community College. We founded the club. We fully support architects and engineers and all they do. We find there's a tremendous correlation between the amount of time people spend looking into 9/11 and what they believe. If you're within the sound of my voice and you see this, just go look for yourself. That's our club motto. Look for yourself on 9/11. There's a tremendous amount of great work that's been done. So please go look for yourself at 9/11. It's hugely important, and I'm proud to be here with these fine gentlemen.
I'm Richard Gage with Architects and Engineers for 9/11 Truth, and this is Jeff Roberts with PANDA, People Against the National Defense Authorization Act, and Jeff's going to tell you why that's so important and why he's here with us in the Oregon State Capitol today, educating legislators, staffers, and visitors to the Capitol so that we can tell them about the third tower that came down on 9/11. What is so important about that third tower? It is the one piece of 9/11 that refuses to be talked about. Why? Because it is obviously a controlled demolition. A building that comes down straight down uniformly, symmetrically into its own footprint on the afternoon of 9/11, not having been hit by an airplane, part of the World Trade Center complex, 47 stories falling in under 7 seconds at free fall acceleration. Now, we're here to tell people about it because it is obviously a controlled demolition. It's not brought down by fires according to the official story, which came out 8 years later in an official report put out by the National Institute of Standards and Technology.
In 2012, with the National Defense Authorization Act, the Constitution has been suspended and the laws of war now apply. This allows President Obama or any future president to indefinitely detain anyone captured anywhere without charge or trial, including U.S. citizens captured on U.S. soil. So this is an extremely important issue. This is not just something that was poorly investigated. This affects our daily life, and it affects the rule of law. So it's extremely important that we look at this issue.
We've spent $6.5 trillion to date on the global war on terror. It's an unacceptable state of affairs when there are so many questions about the inception of that war on terror, 9/11. And we start with Building 7 because it is so obviously a controlled demolition. But as you can also see, there are severe questions, many questions about the Twin Towers, which also have evidence of explosive controlled demolition from beginning to end.
This is great. Christopher, this was a stroke of genius to get him. He hits the note right in the middle. He's got an ear for music. He's going to come tonight at the Ford Film Theater while we're getting seated and play for about 30 minutes.
And what I'm saying is that I think local media, I was just saying, if we had personal ties with local media and we made it a personal story, and then we just back it up with the evidence and just say, oh, by the way, this is the evidence.
Right on.
And okay, this is the evidence, and it kind of affects a lot of things. It affects, we got the NDAA from that. We got Military Commissions Act from that. We got the torture and the mass spying. All of this kind of stemmed off of it.
How did you call it, Marvin? Tom says it's the Big Bang as projected from 9/11, where everything changed.
Yep. Kind of the Pearl Harbor effect.
Yeah.
Hey.
I'm an advocate for 9/11 truth, and I, as well as others, know the official story is incorrect. Therefore, I would like to know the truth. And like many others, we have seen the data, we've seen the videos, and we all want to know what really happened. And not only that, but based on the evidence, we want to cause the leaders of this country to acknowledge the official story is not true, and that they can choose to either tell us the truth or, face us, people of the American continent and the United States.
Hi there, my name is Ed Baker. I'm a candidate in the 2016 presidential election. One of my big passions is to focus on 9/11 and find out the truth about who planned, executed, and covered up those events. As I call for that investigation, I'm very honored to be able to stand here today with the architects and engineers for 9/11 Truth. Thank you.
We got 3 live ones in less than 15 minutes. Hi.
We're trying to reach the young people here, the people under 30 who are going to be running this place in 10 or 15 years, and they are open to building 7 Awareness. We're going around and visit each office and talk to the young people and offer them a free ticket to tonight's event at Willamette University. And I want to encourage other people in other states to do this. Democracy is vibrant in these places. We're never going to reach the media, we're never going to reach politicians in Washington, but we can reach young people in state houses, in county commission meetings, in school districts, in city council chambers. Democracy is alive and well if we participate. So that's what I'm trying to do. I'm just trying to encourage some people to speak up, speak out in places where it is effective. And in a place like this, it is very effective. I've given out probably a dozen tickets to young people on the House side that said they will come tonight. So I think that's very encouraging.
Interestingly enough, Americans will be open to cover-ups, but not conspiracy theories. So we've often talked about cover-ups as well. Did you know there was a cover-up on 9/11? Thank you. We want the real information. 2,200 architects and engineers that I represent. We're actually giving a presentation at 6 p.m. across the street at the Ford Theater. Tonight, I'm all over the world, but tonight I'm in Salem, Oregon, so I would take advantage of it if I were you, because we're talking about the 3rd tower that came down on 9/11. There it is, 47 stories tall, Building 7, World Trade Center. And what does that look like to you? Is that a collapse by fire or a controlled demolition?
It looked like a controlled demolition.
It really does, and here's the evidence.
I think we just visited 60 House of Representatives, and now we're going to go visit 25 Senators. Jeff Roberts from Panda is we're kind of going together.
You're probably aware of the National Defense Authorization Act. It's a annual appropriations bill for the Department of Defense. It's been going on for 50 years now. But in 2012, Obama requested the right to indefinitely detain U.S. citizens without charge or trial, and Congress gave it to him. So that suspended the Bill of Rights. It suspended due process. It declared that the United States is now a battlefield where the laws of war now apply. And we've got a nonprofit organization called PANDA, People Against the NDAA. We've been working with some top-notch constitutional lawyers, Richard Fry and Jeff Lewis from the Patriot Coalition. They have written up a bill that could be presented at the state level, which would interpose the state between the feds and the people. And by doing that, it would prevent the NDAA being used as justification for an abduction, assault, battery, murder, or whatever type of crime could be committed. So, so that has been presented at the state level in Washington State, but it has not been presented yet in Oregon. So that's what we're trying to do today, is to present it to the senators and the representatives here in Oregon. Thank you.
Okay. And you guys are right here, so I better leave too.
Thank you.
Hi, have you heard of the National Defense Authorization? Yeah. So if they tried to justify an abduction or assault or battery or murder using the NDAA as justification, then this would make it clear that that is not possible, that the normal charges could apply.
Okay.
All right?
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Of this building, particularly, what's that building doing? On the left is World Trade Center Building 7. On the right is a normal controlled demolition. There's hardly any difference. Huh? So, yeah. So, and the Twin Towers look very much like a controlled demolition. So, tonight we're going to be walking through the evidence showing how inescapably the evidence leads us to the conclusion of controlled demolition. We've got to have a real investigation based on this evidence.
No, I'm with you.
Yeah, cool. Hope to see you there. You get a free ticket for your whole family.
Thank you.
All right, thanks.
The Ford Film Theater.
Any lawyers among you, or no? Law students? No.
And I know.
Okay. All right.
Right across the street, the Ford Film Theater.
Are you aware of the National Defense Authorization Act?
Anybody wants to go?
It's an annual appropriations bill for the Department of Defense.
I'm sorry to interrupt your lunch, but I got free tickets if anybody wants to go.
And so it's an annual appropriations bill, but in 2012,
we are very mindful of the fact that we've just come from Atlanta, a conference of 14,000 architects who have come to learn more about their profession, but who at our booth, which is 20 feet wide, full of evidence about World Trade Center Building 7, we had a dozen volunteers there handing out flyers to thousands of architects and engineers, giving out our DVD, 9/11 Explosive Evidence Experts Speak Out. We handed out hundreds and hundreds of DVDs. We educated hundreds of architects. And one of the great opportunities we had there was to submit a resolution for the investigation of Building 7, which we were able to do because we had 55 AIA members among our 118 or so sign on to this resolution, calling upon the AIA to call for an investigation. So that vote happened on Saturday at the conference last month, and it was very exciting because we were able to address 400 of the top management, if you will, of the AIA, including the board, the delegates who were voting on the resolution, and many others who chose to come to this annual business meeting. So the vote in the end was a disappointment. The people didn't have all the arguments. They didn't get the opportunity to see Building 7 coming down as we have here today. The videos showing it coming down in 7 seconds, free fall acceleration into its own footprint. So we did have 5 to 10 minutes to tell them about that, but their board members lied to them about this resolution, saying things like this would be an extravagant use of our limited resources financially, which is a lie because we're just calling for a position statement. They said, oh, the diesel fires in this building caused this building to come down, which is a lie because even the official story says there's no diesel fuel burning in this building. They made other statements that simply were not true, and they made derogatory statements such as calling us wolves in sheep's clothing, calling us conspiracy theorists. So we will go back again next year, present the evidence yet again, and hopefully by that time we'll have had a chance to contact many architects with a program that we are putting forth during this summer, where we intend to mail to 20,000 architects and engineers across the country, specifically in the universities, professors, who will be getting our 50-page glossy booklet of the evidence, which we don't think they'll be able to easily throw away. After looking through it, at least it will end up on a coffee table where people will see it.
Well, this is hopeful. Democracy is alive and well in this building. We are getting encouragement from the young people. The legislators avoid this issue like the plague. One of those guys, when we were over on the House side, I showed him this, and he said, "Oh, heavens no." He couldn't even talk about it. He wanted to rush us out of the office. Hey, Carol, I know.
Each of us can recommend different paths, like a path of action for 9/11, path of action for the NDAA, for torture, for mass spying, kind of all work together so that we're all fighting the same battle. Or so at least if somebody asked you about spying, what do we do about that? You have a path to go. Oh, we're supposed to do that. And for Panda, oh, we're supposed to do that. And
The truth about 9/11, difficult but important.
Thank you.
This is Building 7, the third tower that came down. What does that look like to you? They say it came down by normal office fires. That was 8 years later, and they being our government. And we have 2,300 architects and engineers calling for a new investigation of what happened here. Because, like on the right side, that's a controlled demolition. Well, Building 7's on the left side. 47 stories, not hit by an airplane. Afternoon of 9/11, straight down, symmetrically. Free fall acceleration, just like a controlled demolition. No, normal office fires didn't bring this building down. So we're speaking all around the world on this subject, and tonight we're in Ford Theater at Willamette University, right across the street. And I'm going to give you a free ticket because I like you. You're welcome to come. Thank you. Thank you very much. Sometimes they're open.
yeah.
I like that in people, open-mindedness.
Yeah, come for a half hour. Yeah. 2 Willamette students. Excellent. And I got free tickets.
Steven's young. Yeah, give Steven one.
This year, the production of our long-awaited DVD, Firefighters, Architects, Engineers, Expose the Myths of 9/11, with Eric Lawyer and myself giving side-by-side consecutive arguments from the firefighter side, the architects and engineers side. And this DVD will be ready before September 11th for the world premiere in New York and all around the world, in fact. So that's very exciting. We also have an effort to support the release of the 28 pages from the joint House and Senate Commission hearings, joint inquiry, that is, where a Senate bill and House bill have been put forth calling upon President Obama to release the redacted 28 pages. Full 28 pages of this inquiry has been illegally classified by the Bush administration. We're calling for not only the declassification of this important document, but the declassification of all of the suppressed information about Building 7, about the Twin Towers, and all the evidence that we put in our DVD that was not in the commission, the 9/11 Commission report, not in the final reports by NIST or by FEMA about these building failures. So we have a lot going on. We'll be in force with a symposium on September 12th, inviting top-level speakers in the 9/11 Truth Movement as well as outside the 9/11 Truth Movement.
My name is Marvin Sammis. We've kind of got this group together to put this on. Only 1 in 7 Americans knows that a third tower came down on 9/11, and I don't want that to happen in Oregon. Some of you will remember Wayne Morris. He was a senator from Oregon, a powerful senator, one of only 2 senators that voted against the Gulf of Tonkin resolution.
Friend of my family.
Oh, good. Yeah.
Yes, I know him very well.
He was a wonderful representative for Oregon. And when the Cold War buildup was going on in the 50s and 60s, Wayne Morris said, I don't think that's good for an economy. I don't want defense contracts in Oregon. And as a result, here we are today. And this state could make a seamless transition to a peace economy. 85% of our economy are small businesses that do less than $500,000 a year. We have a Nike, and we have an Intel, and we have Hewlett Packard, we have OSHU that employ a lot of people, but that is a small part of our income. So I think that my state has a responsibility to speak up and speak out for a peace economy. We have been at war, and we are at war today. AIA 9/11 Truth now numbers more than 2,300 architects and engineers and 20,000 others, all demanding a new investigation into these catastrophic structural failures. Our speaker has presented to groups of 100 to 2,000 people in 35 countries and 84 American cities to over 400 packed audiences, whose worldview has been irrevocably altered by this myth-shattering information. He's a personal source of inspiration to me, and that's true. I consider him to be a beacon of truth, a patriot, and a friend. Richard, please help us understand what happened on 9/11. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, Richard Gage.
Thanks, everybody. It's awesome to be here in Salem, Oregon. Once again, I spend time between Idaho and California, and it's my deep honor to address you tonight with this really important information. 9/11 Truth, the world is ready. It's time to talk about it. I want to start by thanking you for your willingness to reconsider the very difficult subject of the destruction of the World Trade Center and the staggering loss of life there.